Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, Childhood Finds, if you've never joined me here before, and we're doing a marathon of what solds today. I have had pretty decent sales through September. I've had really amazing days and I've had mediocre days, but overall things are doing pretty well. And so I decided we're doing 3 what solds for this little video series of the last few weeks, and hopefully you can enjoy it and learn some new things to keep a lookout for. And then I do have some other video ideas for the future in the next coming weeks. So I'm going to be working on those, and hopefully you enjoyed these 3 videos. I will link down the other 2 once they are released in the description, because I tend to release 1 a day when I do these. And so just look for that if you haven't watched the others. All right, let's get started. Okay, so let's start with this first one that I really enjoy. This took a couple months to sell. I paid $2 for it at a yard sale that was relatively high priced, but I just happened to find this book. I hadn't seen it before, and that's what made me look inside of it. And so what it is By Supper Possessed, Charles Schulz, Peanut Snoopy, signed Gene Schulz, Burning Man. So when I looked inside, I saw that Gene Schulz, which is Charles Schulz's wife, and she had signed inside and had dated it, I believe 2008. I can pull that up. Burning Man. So I did double check to confirm she was in fact there at Burning Man to sign this. And I just thought it was interesting. I didn't know if her signature would have value, but it obviously had a little bit. So I went ahead and grabbed this, and it did sell for full asking of $60. And it was funny, it actually sold the same week that Burning Man was happening near us. So I thought that was interesting. Next one, I showed this in a haul video from my big estate sales that I went to in a recent video. This is just an enameled brass tone metal Art Deco style stand-up easel back frame. And really couldn't find anything like it. It was just a very pretty piece. It was petite. I think it was barely a 4x6. I can't quite remember, but we knew it had to be worth something. So I did take a best offer of $20. I have maybe $1 into this from that bulk buy, and it sold very quickly. This is a set of 2 brass swan bird bud vases, made in Korea. I took a best offer cent one of $19, and they sold in a few months. I don't remember where these came from. I think they were just living in the death pile for a while till I grabbed them. So likely I didn't pay very much for them, and they're easy to ship and pack. I always pick up brass when it's cheap. This came from that estate sale video as well. This is a Kurt S. Adler Polonaise Collection Santa Golf Player Christmas Ornament, Poland. And it still had its tag. It was in perfect condition. It did sell for $22. I took an offer for it, and I think I have $5 into this one, so a little more, but still a decent profit, and it was easy to ship and pack. These I picked up at a thrift store, and they were having a buy 2 get 1 free, and they were also, books were all discounted too in addition to that deal. So I only paid $2 for all 3 of these, and they're Allman Brothers Band The Definitive Collection for Guitar, volumes 1, 2, and 3, so sheet music. And I sent out a best offer of $35, and they sold very quickly. I think within a week they sold. This is a lot of Liberace Popular Standards, One Step Up, Popular Demand, Big Note music book. So I think I sent an offer of $17. This picture kind of stinks. I phoned it in on that picture. But I got this in, I bought at auction a big box of sheet music 2 weeks in a row. And I paid like $20 for 2 giant boxes because nobody wanted them. And these were 3 of the pieces in there. I've already made my money tenfold back on those boxes. So this is just some extra. They did take a very long time to sell. Probably, I don't know, it's probably been 9 to 10 months at least. But I have like 10 cents into them. So it was worth the wait for me. This is a Meritac & Howe Co. Vintage 1968 towel holder. And there's no hardware no screws, the rod isn't there or anything. I tend to pick up this hardware when it's affordable. I see these fairly frequently. I picked up a little bit this weekend even, and they take a while to sell, and they don't sell for a ton. When I get them cheap, I pick them up. They're easy, they don't shatter. I still make a profit. I probably have $1 into these too. But again, they do take time to sell, so do be ready for the wait. These were in that recent estate sale buy, and this is a vintage 110 12 karat gold filled American optical eyeglasses frames, only as is. So they're used, they have some condition things going on. I put that in the description. They're still beautiful and vintagey. And I actually went to another estate sale last weekend, I think, and they had all these older eyeglasses for free. So I'm dipping my toes in the eyeglasses now. These sold super fast, and I have maybe $1 into them. I took a best offer of $30. They sold incredibly fast. So I am all for doing eyeglasses right now and trying to figure out that market, because it's a lot. Every time I step into a new little niche, as an everything seller, it's always an adventure. So I have, I think, 10 or 12 glasses I picked up. So hopefully I'll be working on those and being able to show more of those to you. This is a lens coat neoprene cover for Pro Media Gear GK Junior Katana Junior. It's a camera thing, guys. And I ended up taking a best offer for $33 because I actually priced this one too high. I couldn't find it at first. So how I got these is I went to an estate sale that 95% of the stuff was overpriced, and that's cool. So my goal is always to dig and find the stuff they didn't know about or didn't care about. That was these. I picked up like 8 to 10, I think 8 of these different lens coat custom gear for photographic equipment, and they are big money. They take some time to sell. This is the first one to sell, but I have $2 into each one. I have at least 4 or 5 of them that are listed for $60 each. It's for the really fancy camera stuff. So it just helps protect it, and they're new in package. I didn't have to do much. I actually just went onto the Lenscoat website and got all my information there so that I knew it was correct when I put it on eBay. So that was an excellent find. So just always look for the stuff that you have no idea about. I didn't know what this was when I grabbed it. It was new. I grabbed it. I took a chance on it. And I'm gonna make hundreds off of those. So look for the stuff that's different at estate sales is all I can suggest. This is Mimnock the Devil, Anne Rice, signed first edition, first printing, Vampire Chronicles. So I actually kind of mistitled it. I did not title this quite correctly because it is signed, it's personalized. So I should have had that right there in the title. I like to include that it is not flat signed, but the buyer was incredibly happy with it. I took a best offer of $30, which I was very happy with. I have $5 into this book, and it was in beautiful condition. It had a cover on it and everything. Great condition. And that took a couple months to sell. This is Avalon Hill Board Game Betrayal at House on the Hill, first edition, 2004. It is complete. Luckily, like 60% of the pieces were unpunched. I play this game, the other editions, with my friends, so I know how many little tiny pieces there are. So I was excited that I only had to count some of them and not all, because there's a lot of little pieces. Because I love board games, but I do hate myself slightly when I get used ones, because it's always an adventure if it's going to be all there or not. And I think I paid $4 or $5 for this at a Goodwill, and it sold on a best offer for $30.76. It took a couple months to sell, and I almost kept this for my board game collection, but my friends and I play the other versions, so I figured I could let this one go. This is my epic sale. I am still flabbergasted by this. This is a 1960 signed Christian Dior brooch, floral with red cabochons. I did put rare. You guys know, if you watch my channel, I don't enjoy the word rare, but this is something that has not come to market in quite a while. So I put rare, and I put read as is because there were some imperfections. It was not in perfect shape there, but it's still, like in this picture, it sure looks like it is. But there were some things, and I went really intense on this. In my pictures, sometimes what I do, if I can find it, when I take the pictures, if there's flaws, I'll even go in on my phone and edit the pictures and circle where the flaws are. So there's some, the tips were, there's some damage to the tips of these rhinestones, gems, I don't know jewelry, guys, I'm sorry. Made myself sound silly there, but they were not in perfect condition, and I circled them so they would be very obvious, because they are hard to see if you're just looking at this picture. So I do suggest that on occasion. It just helps really bring the buyer's eye to it, because even when you put it in the title and in the description, it's still going to be an adventure sometimes to get them to see what's wrong. But I paid $2 at an estate sale. It was in the recent video, estate haul video. I could have got more for this, I think. I don't like auctions. I don't do auctions really. So I priced it way higher than any other solds on WorthPoint, and it still sold very, very quickly. I got tons of offers in the $400 and $500 range. And so I felt confident that I didn't super underprice it because I don't know. I'm just trying to tell myself that. It could have gone into a bidding war on an auction, absolutely. But it sold for $750. I paid $2 for it. So, and it was sitting there. This estate sale had started at 8. We went there at like 10. It was just sitting there waiting for me. So I don't imagine I'll find another one this amazing again, but I'm enjoying it now. This is a vintage tailor-made Fire Soul cotton leather golf stretch fit hat. And I really have enjoyed hats. I always look at hats, and I sold this on a best offer of 21 or 22. 21. I paid $1 for this at the estate sale that I got the lens coat. So it was, again, they didn't care about the hats. So those are what I grabbed, and they weren't super overpriced. And good little sale. It sold within a week. This I got from the estate sale haul video as well. I don't know if I showed it in the haul. I don't remember if I showed all of these, but it was from that recent buy a couple weeks ago. So these are all selling quickly. This is a pair of Spaniel hunting dog metal bookends on marble base. I did put reed because one of the foot on one of them was not quite as secured as the other. So it was not an impeccable shape. It had a little bit of wiggle to it. So I just included that. I did take a best offer of $65, and it was actually a repeat buyer that had bought a pair of my bookends before. So I was happy to take that for a repeat buyer. And I think we paid 10 for these, which was paying up for me for bookends. I did an inner cringe when I said, yeah, I think we can do 10. So it worked out, but I was nervous paying 10 for them because I'm cheap at heart. This thing took forever to sell. I didn't expect it to. This is a Disney Parks, It's a Small World musical snow globe, retired redescription CL Pix. It was not in perfect shape, which is likely why, but it worked, but it just had some paint imperfections. It sold for full asking though for 43 bucks. I picked this up for $2 at a thrift store. I think it probably took 6 months to sell. Just a heads up, guys, do remember snow globes must go ground shipping. If you put it on priority, you are risking that thing shattering on you. So always put them ground. I, knock on wood, have never had one of my snow globes break. And so you just pack it well and ship it ground and you should be good to go. So don't be nervous to ship snow globes. You can do it. This is an Animal Adventure Target Prehistoric Orange Triceratops Plush Dinosaur. I don't remember where I got this, but I wouldn't have paid more than $1 or $2 for it. And it sold for full asking of 28. It was large, but it was easy to ship. It was completely, I do think I put this in a poly mailer because I did that to keep the shipping down, so a buyer would be more enticed to buy it. I think I included that in the description. I don't use poly mailers a lot. I mean, I use a lot of boxes. I have tried to make myself use more poly and bubble mailers just to kind of save on shipping supplies. and because I'm a chronic overpacker. So I've been trying to hone it back a little bit, but it's hard for me. I like to do boxes. But this did sell for $28 and it went international. This is Good Housekeeping's Book of Meals Tested, Tasted, and Approved. 1930, it was a second edition, and it was not in great condition. Sold for $25 on a best offer. I've had this since February. It was our first basically our first sale of the year. There just happened to be one estate sale in still kind of the dead of winter here. And we went and got a whole bunch of amazing stuff, and so I still have stuff left from it, but this is one of them, one of the things, and it sold for $25. This is a Bianchi leather holster, and for Smith & Wesson, I just put read and see photos because, again, this had use to it, so I just wanted to let the buyer know that you can see that someone used this for what it was intended for, so you can see the signs of it. But it was still in great condition. It sold for full asking of $50. This was at that estate sale as well, and so we have maybe $1 or $2 into this, so excellent sale. I love picking up these leather holsters. They sell very well. This guy's so cute. This is Gund Simon's Cat Large, and it had a little zipper pouch, and I don't believe it was supposed to have a voice box, because sometimes with those they're supposed to have voice boxes, but I didn't think this one was supposed to, but I don't know. I showed it was empty, so, and the buyer's happy with it, but he's so cute. I sent out a best offer of $40. I paid $3 to $4 for this at a thrift store a couple months ago. He did take a few months to sell, but he is worth it, and he is so cute. This is a Harvey Pinnock The Game of Golf Easton Press Collector's Set, 4 books, leather bound. I'm going to tell you a quick short story on this. This estate sale where I got these, they had advertised an Easton Press collection. And so, of course, I got up early. It was on a Sunday morning and went. And there was another reseller there before me. So they ran over to those books, and then they proceeded to have a fit because the estate people had it priced basically at eBay prices, probably a little higher. And she had a fit. All I'm asking, guys, is as you are reselling, to be kind, because sometimes reselling is hard on me mentally, because I know a lot of people kind of hate resellers, let's be frank about it. And so it's hard because I do understand some of the points that we are taking things for cheaper and making money that they could have made off of it, even though I spent years and thousands of hours learning about this stuff to know what to sell it for and how to do it. And it's a lot of work, but this person just had a meltdown and just gave all resellers a bad name because of how they were priced. But I just ask you guys to be kind and try to give us a good name so that people don't look at us like we are bad people, because they do. A lot do. And I'm just doing this to feed my family and make a living, and because I love it. And most people, they just want the stuff gone. So there's still people that don't hate us, but there are some. And so sometimes it's hard for me mentally to watch another reseller act like a jerk. And we have quite a few in my area that just act like jerks. We watched a guy come into a sale. We were there at 7 a.m. a couple minutes before him. He came in and had a fit because some of the stuff in the pictures the lady wasn't actually selling. It was cookbooks. And he had a meltdown at her because she wasn't going to sell her cookbooks. And they were in the pictures and they should have been there. And don't do that. Don't be a jerk. Be kind and courteous and just give a good image of us, because we are all just trying to make a living or have a side hustle or just have some fun and make a little extra cash. And so just don't do that. And that guy with the cookbooks, I thought about interjecting and telling him I would have already bought them if they were here, so he was screwed either way, but that would have escalated the issue. Either way, long story short, This sold for a best offer of $80, and I went and found this in another room while the other reseller was having a meltdown and paid $8 for it and sold it for $80. So I just let her have her fit and was nice, and the estate people gave me good deals because I was kind to them. Because it's a lot of work to do a sale. I get it. Yes, I complain sometimes the prices, but I'm not going to do that to them. They put a lot of work into it. The prices are what the prices are. This is a Singamajigs toy plush, Sings Clementine. These things are funny. You press their tummy and it's one syllable at a time, so it's just like Clementine. It's delightful. Oh wait, I have a video. My computer will probably have a meltdown if I do this, but let's see. You're welcome. I'm hoping that's catching on the recording, that you guys hear that. But those guys, I paid, I think, $1 for it, maybe. I took a best offer of $12 for the Singamajig, which I was fine with. And this, don't put that in a poly mailer, guys. I don't ever put electronic plush in a poly mailer because I don't want any of that getting crushed. Because I have like a little drop box at my post office. I know what I throw down that drop box, and if my things cannot survive what I throw down, then it shouldn't be in a poly mailer is how I kind of look at it. So very cute, sold within a couple months. This is a 1966 Stanford University quad yearbook, and I've picked up a few yearbooks, but I do want to urge you, yes, they sell, but you might be staring at those for a while. So do be prepared for that. They tend to sell in the $15 to $30 range, and I took a best offer of $15. I paid $1 for this at an estate sale. I'm good with that, and this one actually sold within 2 months, I think. So pretty quick for a yearbook. This is just a little cloisonne vase, 4.5 inches, enamel brass, floral, red, blue, white, decorative. All the keywords for it, but it was just a cute little tiny piece of cloisonne, and we tend to not pay more than $1 for cloisonne, so that's probably what we paid. Sold for $22. This is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon, and it was $19.91, and it was a book club edition, so I wanted to share this to again reiterate, not all book club editions are trash. A lot aren't worth a lot of money, but this still sold for best offer of $23, which I think is very respectable. We got this at the estates, the estate sales that I did the haul video on, and so maybe $1 into it, and it sold within a month, less than. This is a new with tag New York Laundry woman's 3XL plaid open long sleeve cardigan. I should get a mannequin because, man, this picture looks rough. But I phoned it in on all clothing pictures, and I've accepted that. But maybe someday I'll invest in the mannequin in a white background. But for right now, I just throw these on my table. I refuse to do the floor, but I do it on the table, and it works for me. They still sell. Eventually, I'll try to do better pictures, but for right now, I just don't have the space and capacity to make a place just for clothing. But I bought so much clothing this last weekend. It's all I've been listing the last few days, and it's a lot. Clothing's a lot, guys. At least for me. And I paid $2 for that at a thrift store, and it sold for the full asking price in a few months. This is a 1980 Franklin Library William Shakespeare Poems, The 100 Greatest Books. I paid $5 for this at a thrift store, so I paid up for it, and it sold for $22. All of my thrift stores around here are going up in price, so I've just kind of accepted that profit margins are going to be a little lower. And it sold quickly, though, within a week or two, so $5 into $22 isn't bad. It was in very nice condition, and I really enjoy these looks of these books. This is on Mercari. My Mercari and Poshmark sales are either great or horrible. Right now, we're on horrible, but I went through a period where I had a couple a day from each, but now 0. I've had 1 in a week from those 2 platforms, so they're hit or miss. This is just a lot of 4 balls of Debbie Bliss alpaca silk and baby alpaca. alpaca silk and baby alpaca silk. And there are 4 of them. They're all new. I got these in a bag at a thrift store. I paid $3 for the bag, and I got this and another lot out of it that I think I'm showing you later on. I like selling yarn. It doesn't break. And so I have maybe $1.50 into this lot. And this one sold very fast. This is an Elias 1989 fine pewter silver plate, or not plate, picture frame. And I love finding these because they're this big and they sell for good money. This sold for $30. We paid, I think, $1 for this at a sale, an estate sale, and my mother-in-law found it. And I just love finding these because they aren't super old, but they hold some good money. There's also ones with gold in the pewter, and those can sell for even better money. But I have shared Elias frames before, so do keep looking for those. Okay, this is part 1. Thank you for joining me. Please, in the comments, as always, I like to ask you, share with me your favorite sale over the last few weeks that you had. It doesn't need to be the biggest money, just the one you enjoyed the most. Or you can tell me about your favorite find recently. I would just love to hear that in the comments. And please like and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me because I'm getting closer and closer to that magic 1,000. So thank you everyone who has already subscribed and is always commenting and liking my videos. I very much appreciate you in supporting this little venture I have. All right, I will see you on part 2.